I think at the very least, what I'm looking forward to here, and again, Max, you brought it up, like it's pretty much impossible to not talk about Assassin's Creed Shadows. Like that game was awesome. It's also still really popular and selling really well. I think there was a very different conversation before that game came out where people were like, oh, this is make it or break it for Ubisoft. It remains to be seen if that's still the case. But it was a really good game, right? Like it's really awesome. And I rolled credits on it. I loved it. I'm seeing this today makes me want to go back and play it some more. There's a lot in that game that like I think people wanted they wanted out of Ghost of Tsushima, and there's a lot that people wanted out of the Assassin's Creed franchise in general, and they kind of nailed both of those things. And so it took the wind out of the sails of this game for me a little bit, but it also by the time October comes around, I will, I'll be ready for more probably. It would be very sneaky if Ubisoft was like, hey, by the way, we're launching DLC in late September or whatever, get people back in one more time. But I will say one thing I didn't really like about Shadows was traversal outside of like the parkour stuff, which was amazing. They sort of by design made a bunch of really dense forests and hills that were hard to climb up. And yeah, there was just a lot of like sliding and getting stuck behind trees and jammed in logs and stuff like that. And I'm hoping that's something that like, that's not something I'll have to worry about in Yote. It seems like I'll be able to get around easily. And they're doing the, traditional, everybody's got a grappling hook and everybody slides now. I'm sure we'll get to shimmy through some tight crevices. To
climb up some mountains.
Yeah, climb up some mountains and stuff like that. We get to do all of that. But, Yote is the sequel to, I think, one of the most special video games ever made. And so, like, I have no doubt that they're going to go in with their own brushstrokes here. No pun intended. I think this is going to stand on its own. And so I'll gladly play both. It's crazy that they both came out, within 6 months of each other or whatever it is. But
it'll be 8 by that point.
It'll be 8 by that point. Yeah. But like, there's room for both. Like I think that there's something about the art direction in this game that's just really special to me. And I can't wait for it.
The one thing, last thing I'll say about Shadows, and then let's focus on Yote. But Shadows had some gorgeous vistas. Like the climbing synchronization points were gorgeous. There's just some gorgeous looks, and that's something we're definitely going to get here. We saw that throughout the trailer. There's just so many gorgeous looking scenery in Yote. Just from this little bit we got, her running across the different the forest. There's also the horse riding and such. We're going to get some really gorgeous, like just drop dead gorgeous looks in this game. And I'm very excited for that. There's still, I can't think of a better opening than what we got with Tsushima, with the riding through the fields as the credits start to pop up. Like that is cinema, as they say. That is cinema. And so I'm very excited to see how that evolves, and if Yote takes that away from Tsushima, like if it one-ups it, like I really hope it does. But I'd be happy with if they just tie. But like the scenery is going to look gorgeous in this game, because the wizards over at Sucker Punch, they know what they're doing when crafting these areas for us to explore and just have fun in.
Well, I think it's really cool is that it's, this is a PlayStation game. This is a PlayStation exclusive. It's, presumably going to stay that way until they eventually put it on PC probably. But like they've been focusing on making this run on effectively one machine and taking as much advantage of that as they can. We got a glimpse very early on of the sort of flashback sequences where you're in her like family home, and you can immediately toggle back to when she was a child, which immediately reminded me of the portals in Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, where it was just like, oh, this thing is running two parallel dimensions basically. And I'm not sure how much that's actually going to, like, that seems like the kind of thing where it'll be sort of like a side mission or like a mission flavor or whatever, where like you go to certain areas and you do this, and it's really adding context to the story. But we got a similar thing, and we've got a similar things in plenty of games, but it's usually just like sort of it feels like going to a different level or something. Like it doesn't feel like you're actually, it's like a cutscene, or it's a the camera fogs up and then you're in like a little mini side mission, what have you. And I don't know, that just seems like a cool way of interacting with the world a little bit.
Yeah, I was wondering about that one because I don't think it'll be like the whole game, has a flashback button or whatever. But it seems like a fun place to experiment. Again, it's something Shadows did too, which is funny. Like not the button, but
yeah, I imagine they're going to have like key locations and like a prompt will pop up to push the touchpad to revisit the past or something.
I feel like it's definitely a more appealing alternative to doing a small meditation rhythm game. Again, that's the conversation that's going to be happening at the end of this year is who did what better. Like there's going to be plenty to talk about in that department. I really like the shots of. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening, but inspecting your sword up close, like we get a shot of she's like holding the sword, and there's another shot of you can cook fish on the fire, and it's like these little glimpses of a first person perspective. It's kind of a neat way to add to the immersion without fully committing to doing anything in first person, which I feel like would be possibly nauseating in this game, but. Yeah.
Hey, thanks for watching this clip from Beyond, IGN's weekly PlayStation show. You can find the full episode over on youtube.com/IGN Games. And don't forget, new episodes of Beyond drop every Wednesday on IGN.com, the IGN Games YouTube, and all your favorite podcast platforms. Thanks again for watching, and as always, Beyond.